The flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la, have nothing to do. The case, tra-la, la-la-la, tra-la-la, la-la, di-pom, petit-pom, petit-pom. Did I give you a shock? Don't worry. I'm a friendly spirit, a Rolls-Royce silver ghost. I may not look it, but I'm a car that enjoys the simple pleasures of life. What a superb day. The countryside's looking stupendous. Added to which, Cheshire's one of my favourite counties. So, what more could anyone ask for? I've just had a wonderful idea. Listen to this. Come along with me. We'll pick up a few of my family, and then we'll all take a leisurely drive around and see some of the sights. I can't think of a better way to spend a fine summer's day. First of all, we'll collect one of the new generation. It'll be my great-nephew, as a matter of fact. You need a bit of young blood to liven up an outing. Now that we're here, and before we pick up the youngster, how about seeing what's going on inside? Well, this all looks familiar. In my day, they did a real craftsman's job, and I'm glad to see that things don't seem to have changed. Doesn't look like mass production here. You could say this is really the heart of the matter. Not everyone's insides are built as well as this. Can you guess what's going on here? What strange ritual? Of course, we cars would all feel naked without one of these. Someone had an ear for poetry when he named the lady the Spirit of Ecstasy. Times change, but there's no mistaking the family resemblance, is there? Good. Now, here's my great-nephew, young Corniche. An elegant addition to the family. I must say, I do like to see a smart, well-turned-out youngster. Our trip starts from here, at Crewe. This will be a golden opportunity for the young fellow to meet his relatives and get a taste of the county he was born in. We are heading northwest. Our first stop is Gawsworth Hall. It's here that we are collecting my nephew, Bertie. Nice sporty type, Bertie, and still very much on the active list, I can assure you. I can remember this house before the Great War. That was even before Bertie's time. You know, it was here that the last jester in England lived, so the old place must have seen some fun and games in its 500 years. One of the most unusual duels in British history was fought here, in the grounds of Gawsworth, in 1712. Both swordsmen won, and both lost. Yes, killed each other. Well, let's press on. There's a great deal more to see. We are now moving a little southwards, and in a moment you're due for a surprise. something you don't see every day. There, Little Morton Hall. Isn't it a beauty? This is the most perfect example in England of a half-timbered moated manor house. This style is called magpie. That's because it's black and white, wood and plaster. It went up in 1480, give or take a year or so. There's my other nephew, Clarence, waiting outside for us. Dignified chap, isn't he? He's got the right looks to go with a place like this. It's certainly not a bad little house to hang out in, is it? Now the great nephew's been introduced, we'll move on. While Clarence and Bertie have a rest and remember the old days, I'm taking the youngster off for an interesting little trip to help his education along. We'll pick up the others later. I can see the young fellas looking longingly down on that fast motorway below. Oh, can't blame him. Only natural at his age. A quiet, sunny roads, more my style nowadays. We're making our way southwest into rich dairy farming countryside. There's something rather special I want to collect at the farmhouse down there. We'll have a glance inside, shall we? See what's going on? They're making real Cheshire cheese. The same golden, creamy stuff they've been making in the county since the Romans gave them a few good tips on how to do it, nearly 2,000 years ago. And the method is much the same as it was then. It's good to see the genuine thing still being made. I must say this end product's a very appetizing sight. Lovely. They're making me feel hungry. They'll be very welcome later on. These country roads are delightful to drive along. The typical thatched and half-timbered houses are attractive, aren't they? Well, Bertie and Clarence have joined us again, and now we've all a rendezvous just to the north with a favourite relative of mine. Lovely lady, name her Maud. Maud has great style, a real flying lady. As we leave Maud's place, we can see Beesden Castle. Look, up on the next hill. They knew how to build to last in those days. The castle was started in the 13th century, and though a little battered by Cromwell, it's still standing. Every inch of this countryside seems to have close links with the past. We'll let the others go on because I'm taking young Corniche off again with me. This time for a quick trip to the ancient city of Chester. It's the county town. Fascinating place. You'll see it in a minute. Chester's set on the River Dee. A lovely river, perfect for fishing, sailing, all that sort of thing. We're going to meet my cousin Percy. Percy lives in a retirement home. I think that's what they call it. Not that there's anything the matter with him. A mature car, he may be, but feeble, never. Let's take a look round. It was those energetic Romans again who founded Chester. These are its famous medieval galleried streets called the Rows. They are shops opening onto walkways. We're driving through history here. Some action is always going on here. We'd better hang on a minute and let them pass. We mustn't steal all the attention all the time. Well, let's continue and pick up the others. I've arranged a little bit of a treat next. We are driving west from Chester and making for Oulton Park. It's a pretty little racetrack in the middle of lovely countryside. Even at my age, I still can't resist the excitement of the track. Well, the youngsters got some spirit. I don't know what Percy thinks he's up to, trying to make me feel ancient. I won't let him get away with that. There's life in the old dog yet. The youngster's slowing down for me. He's trying to be kind, I suppose. He's making me feel even older. Well, I knew he couldn't bear to hold himself back for long. Never mind, I'll just relax and enjoy the ride. I remember I notched up 80 miles an hour on the old Brooklands track way back in 1911. Perhaps I'll be a devil and try a burst. Show him what those days were all about. Come on, Grand Prix Percy. Well, it was worth it, even if the race did only last for a few seconds. I think I can decently take a back seat now. Let the great nephew enjoy himself. Now I've my breath back, I'm going to leave the others for a while and make a rather special trip on my own. Not far north of Oulton Park is another stately home, Arley Hall. Its gardens are famous. We are coming to Arley now. It's a delight to drive down its splendid avenue of lime trees. This clock tower and barn are 15th century, and it's here I'm going to meet Sweet Sue. Elegant as ever, what a fine carriage. What beauty and style. After you, Lydia. Now we're all together, we have a sentimental rendezvous to keep. Not many miles away, we've arrived at the historic little town of Knutsford, and this is Bray Cottage, home of the founder of our family, a wonderful fellow, Sir Henry Royce. Here, he met the Honourable Charles Rose in 1904, and what a bit of history was made then. And it's only right we should all be here saluting them. We are driving on to the east, to our last port of call. And a very splendid one it is, too. I've always had a weakness for places built in the really grand old style. How about this? Capesthorne, a bit of old England. The estate's been owned by the same family for 800 years. Not too bad a record, that. You'll be surprised at the number of superb Cheshire houses that have survived the centuries intact. It's sad, but we are going to have to go our different ways very soon. The youngster has learned a bit of what tradition is all about, I'm sure. It'll give him something to feel proud of. There we are. We've almost come full circle. I've taken you on a drive through the glorious countryside and given you a glimpse of Cheshire's past. Mind you, the county looks to the future as well. Jodrell Bank Radio Telescope is as famous as Cheshire cheese. Now, the time has come to leave you, I'm afraid. But you carry on. There's so much more of Cheshire still for you to explore and enjoy.